Hey y'all, I'm Cat, and today I will be playing Skyrim Anniversary Edition. Y'all ready? Let's go. I just finished beating up this guy to help Carlotta, because I'm trying to buy the Tundra Homestead. Y'all probably already saw that video though. When I noticed this, Mishera's diary, and if y'all know, Mishera is part of the Crimson Dirks. Mishera has a secret, not a bad secret, like the Battleborn secret affair. Not a boring secret, like the shopkeeper who hates his sister. Mishera's secret is too good to be believed. Mishera did not always spend her days like this, a cat who pretends to be a dog. No, Mishera used to be a bandit warrior, a member of the Crimson Dirks, famous rogues wanted by the East Empire Company, the clan mothers of Elsewhere, and the lawbringers from here to the Somerset Isles. If the gods only knew, they would come kill her. This is why Mishera can never tell. But her time is short. She longs for company. The other day, she took to begging outside the city and saw her little mate, Zaharia, walk through the gates. Mishera called her by name, but the Red Guard ignored her. Mishera is sure she heard her. It made her sad to know this. Mishera does not want to die a rug. You'd make a good rug, cat! Every time I play as a Khajiit. Perhaps she will do something mischievous and get Whiterun guards to attack. Then she will be a warrior once more. Started when the cat's away. I want to see Mishera.
If you need more food
investigates
or drink,
the Dragon Reach dungeons. I know that meeting Mishera will probably mean killing her though, unfortunately, because every time we encounter the Crimson Dirks, we have to kill them. Which really sucks because I want to join them. We still have not met Edward, but we know he's alive, and we also have yet to meet the leader of the Crimson Dirks, Tyra Fireblood. So that'll be interesting. Hello. Read Mishera's confession. Retrieve the armor from the hut. Crimson Dirks, we almost always get armor. Or I think we always get armor. Mishera enjoyed her fight with the god, plus her new home is better than the last. It is a very tiny cage, but she does not beg for food. It is given. Still, Mishera longs to see the night sky. When she was a kitten, the elders warned her that if she stared too long at the moons, they would grow shy, and Mishera would never see them again. This made her sad, and so Mishera vowed to stop looking at the sky, and kept her head down towards the dirt where the beggars belonged. One day, she tried to steal the silver out of the pockets of a Nord named Tyra. When she heard Khajiit's story, she took pity on the kitten and told her that the moons were not timid creatures she had believed. She said that as long as a Khajiit held her head high, they would shine brighter than any star. From that day on, she spent her life in the service of the Crimson Dirks, and when she was ready, her new littermates forged her an armor made of silver, and in its heart, the piece Tyra had in her pocket so many moons ago. Mishera hid the armor in a hut, northwest of Rorikstead. At times, Mishera has longed to retrieve it and wear it proudly. But she must be careful not to let sentiment cloud her judgment. Mishera suspects she is being followed, so she will leave the armor for another. Besides, it is not the silver in the armor or the moonlight in the sky that Mishera treasures, but the friends she has lost. Perhaps in death she will see them again. Aww. Is Mishera in the jail, then? Well, she's not in that cell. Let's see her in there. I think this guy died, y'all. Hey, do you have a Khajiit prisoner in here somewhere? Because if so, I'm not seeing her. Maybe she escaped? Kind of hope she escaped. I don't see her anywhere. Nope, I don't see her. Well, I'd like to believe she escaped. Here's the hut where she said she kept it. Oh goodness, what the hell? Ah! Ah! Get away from me. Oh yeah, this poor guy. Ooh, silver armor. Look at how cool. And the Crimson Dirks Volume 2. I'm pretty sure Volume 1 is the only one I haven't read yet. The Crimson Dirks Book 2 by Gathers the Coin. In the year following its inception, the Crimson Dirks had more than tripled in size and now numbered 15. Tyra Bloodfire had found her blacksmith in the Imperial City, an Auk named Yaktu. She had recruited cunning battle mages in the Breton twins, Erwin and Edward. In Elsewhere, she met Mishera, a street thief who had grown into a capable blade. There were the wood elf archers, Fatras and Ethliel, one hopeless romantic, the other cynical beyond his years. There was the Argonian, Pale Eyes, a loyal and true soul. and the red guard Zaharia, a born leader of men. And lastly, she found her muscle in an Orc warrior, Orgnak, and in the Nods, Skjold, and Bergerman. Their bodies were unbreakable as the ice of their ancestors. Altogether, it had the makings of a full-fledged organization, rivaling that of any major guild. They had members pulling off jobs from Burma to Dune, raiding warehouses and pillaging farms. With every crate added to their coffers, Tyra hoped their influence could spider across the breadth of Tamriel, earning both fear and respect amongst those who plied their trade in the shadows. As bandits, however, they would rely first and foremost on the sacking of the caravans. They would stalk the highways and thoroughfares for carriages full of goods, and quickly relieve them of their belongings. For this task, the Khajiit, Mishera, found herself best suited. Her eyes were keen at identifying a heavy wagon, from the spin of its wheels to the tracks carving through the dirt. She could spot a weary god by the slump of his shoulders or the pace of his gait. Her eyes saw clearly even in the dead of night, while the others were slaves to the light of their torches. And what she lacked in strength, the other bandits were willing to provide. On this night, however, their victims put up little fight. Their numbers comprised of monks and priests, who were all too ready to unite with their makers. The wagon they plundered was destined for the temple, and its crates full of treasures that offered more tribute than gold. "Do you think Tyra would like this?" asked Mishera, popping her head out from behind the wagon, an amulet of Talos dangling from her ear. "A bandit has no need for gods or prayer," grumbled Orgnak, wiping the blood from his battle axe. "It's a terrible gift." "Nonsense," countered Bergerman, unloading the crate. "All Nords love Talos, almost as much as they love mead." "Of course you would say that, Frostlicker," snarled Orgnak. "But by Malakath, Tyra is not like the rest of you idiots. She has taste." If Tyra were like any other Nord, Orgnak would probably have never pledged her his axe. In his mind, the Nords were pale-faced, poetry-loving giants who ate with their fingers and drank from a horn. Tyra, however, did not think or feel or smell like the other Nords did, and more importantly, did not fight like them. She preferred the arid bite of a Sujama bottle to a snowback's honeyed drink, and despised poetry in all its forms. He surmised she might have been from Merwin, but the orc was not the type to pry into the business of others. "Oh," said Mishera, with a mischievous grin, the amulet swaying as her ears perked up. "And what are you planning to get her, Orgnak?" "What? Why would I get her anything?" the orc replied coldly. "You'll all be dead in a year anyway." Mishera blanched at the words, unsure if the orc was making a joke or speaking prophecy. While hardly a mage, Orgnak was known to dabble in dark magic, wearing tribal scars and marks on his body, and totems of bone around his neck. Unlike with the blacksmith, his anger seemed to stem not from the hardened nature of his blood, but something deeper and personal, and it colored every conversation they had. The others stood in silence at his remarks until the young Bosmer, Fatris, broke the ice. "Speaking of which, did you want anything for the holidays, Zaharia?" "Oh, I forgot, yeah, he likes her." That was actually the first book of the Crimson Dirks that I read, was about Fatris's infatuation for Zaharia. He said, a rose of blush affecting his soft brown skin. The Red God in return paid him little heed as she examined the wagon's horses. "If you want to get me a Saturalia gift," said Zaharia, pointing at the arrows lodged in the wagon's side, "work on your aim. I'll feel better about having you at my back when you can kill more than planks of wood." "That is all well and good," interrupted Mishera, "but there is far more important matters than life and death, for this Khajiit still does not have a suitable present." "If it's from the heart," Fatris said, eyes fixated on the Red Guard, "the amulet will be good enough." 2 weeks later, on a cold Satralia night, Tyra Fireblood awoke to the sounds of crackling fire. A note was placed on her private safe, which she opened to find an amulet wrapped in cloth. The Khajiit had snuck into her room earlier and left the gift and the fire beneath, as proof of both her generosity and skill. Tyra was not religious by nature, but as she stood in the warm, reddish glow, something about the amulet of Talos resonated with her. Perhaps it was the letter she received from Palandius that morning about an encounter with the Thalmor in Dune. In that instance, a thought crept into her mind and soon blossomed into an idea. The following day, she beckoned the blacksmith to her chambers, the idea having matured into a plan. "I want you to forge me more of these amulets," Tyra said, placing the axe-shaped necklace on the table before her. The blacksmith picked up the artifact and studied its make, thumbing across the intricate patterns grooved into the piece. Unlike other amulets, it was simple yet ornate, its blades casting a neutral tone, that neither reflected nor absorbed the surrounding candlelight. This is made of dragon's bone and scale, Yokta said. Hard to come by these days, but a replica should be simple enough. I guess my only question is, why? Seems odd for bandits to turn to the divines for help. Last week, there was a trade caravan traveling on Silver Road, torched by Thalmor Justiciars, Tyra said. Apparently, they killed the merchant on suspicion of Talos worship. And it's not just here. I've gotten word from Palandius that the Thalmor are making an effort to eliminate anyone and everyone in possession of these amulets, whether it be men in the streets or wagons on the road. Wagons, replied Yaktu. Like the ones we sack. Exactly. The amulets aren't armor or jewelry or tribute, said Tyra. They're a motive. We place one on every caravan we sack and torch the wagons when we're done looting them. The gods blame the Thalmor, and we keep the spoils. Yaktu nodded and took her leave, mind set on forging the amulets. Tyra knew well enough that the smith didn't need the artifact with her, having already committed it to memory. The blacksmith's genius was different from the others, quiet, removed, and matched only by her insatiable work ethic. The amulets would be done by daybreak, and there was no need for this one to be included. Tyra returned the amulet to the safe, when she noticed another item nestled amongst the piles of gold and gems. It was the tooth of an orc chief, one typically earned by besting its owner in single combat. Tyra herself knew of one such orc, a son who had been forced to kill his father against his will. Heartbroken, the son wore this tooth as a keepsake around his neck, fearing the day he would have to slay his future children. Until one day, the son met a Nord bandit who became bloodkin of the tribe and challenged him to a duel. The bandit bested the orc in single combat, and recognizing the pain that haunted him, freed him from his duties as chief. She asked not for his tooth, but his blade when the time came. Yet it wasn't until after the Nord formed the Crimson Dirks that she returned to that orc and asked him to make good on his oath. Tyra smiled as she recalled the memory. She didn't know Orgnak had pulled the tooth, but it didn't surprise her in the least. We just have book 1 to read, and then we'll have read all the books. I'm gonna put this armor on, and an amulet, a Talos.
Thought I heard something.
Oh my goodness. Who are you? Whoa. Why are you attacking me? What the heck? Stop. Who are you? Gosh, no, stop. No, stop. Oh goodness. Oh no.
This ends now. You're routed. Fall back.
Thought I was gonna die. Who are you? Imperial. Why were y'all after me? Were they trying to ambush Mishera? I was really hoping they'd have a note on them or something. Is this random? Thank y'all so much for watching, and if you liked the video, please don't be afraid to subscribe. Bye, y'all.